Okay, welcome to another episode of Behind the Biz by EquitiesTracker. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Andrew Yap here. Welcome. Andrew is, I would say, the biggest bookseller, not just in Malaysia, but around the world. He serves 55 cities over 17 countries. Did I get that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
You got it right.
So, I guess we maybe just to kickstart the conversation. How, I've read online that you self-proclaim that you've actually never finished reading a book, but yet you've become the world's largest bookseller. Tell me how that got started.
I would say that it's a very personal journey on my end. I never grew up with books, and it's not easy to get an adult to inculcate the reading habit. But why am I so passionate about getting this out, getting books to everyone, is because I never grew up with books, and I realized the damage to a child who never had the opportunity to grow up with books.
So how did you go from not having books as a kid to now being like the largest bookseller?
I was fortunate enough to go to St. John's, and back about 30 over years ago, so I think it shows how old I am.
30 over years ago, okay.
There were not many private schools, right? So majority of the who's who, the kids and all, end up in St. John's or VI in Kuala Lumpur. I managed to get in because my dad played football for the school, and also, I think if I'm not mistaken, for the state at the junior level. So I managed to go there. This kid from Jalan Ipoh who never grew up with books. I realized one thing. All my other classmates, they do better in school. That's because they had the opportunity to grow up with books. They are more confident. They speak better. Their general knowledge is better. They just do better in school. And I'm also mildly dyslexic, so I never had without the opportunity to grow up with books, and being mildly dyslexic, I couldn't even recite my ABCs in order.
Wow.
So can you imagine, in standard 3, the kids were all making fun of me not being able to recite my ABCs, right? And fast forward many years later, when we leave school, sometimes we always think back about the traumas that we had. Yeah. And mine was I just felt very inadequate. Why am I like that versus other kids, right? For lack of a better word, I felt stupid also. Then so when someone approached us to sell books, it's like, sell books. But when I look at the book, hey, these are actually quite good books, and we are able to sell it at a very low price. And that brought me back to my school days, that I can actually make a difference to kids kids like me who never had the opportunity to have books in their life. So the issue that Malaysia and globally most people are facing is that books are not accessible or affordable.
Okay, so expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just jumped at it, and it was really from, I was in a very different industry. I was running a car workshop. Can you imagine, from repairing cars to selling books?
Yeah. I mean, worlds apart, right?
Yeah. So it was a totally different industry, and I had no clue on how to sell a book or even how to price a book.
Would you say that worked to your advantage?
I would say that this is basically the advantage or superpower that we had. We were going to sell books from a very different lens. Selling books from the lens of the 95% of the world who can read but do not read.
Right.
Yeah. So everything that we look at is very different. Whereas majority of booksellers, they come from the industry. So their views can be very myopic when trying to reach out to readers.
Right.
Yeah.
So bring us back to the time when someone approached you to sell books. Like, was it like I mean, I heard a lot of rumors that, books are sold by the kilos, or, how does that kind of work? And maybe, do you even remember the first book that you actually sold?
Oh, the first book that we actually sold. I know which book, but I am just having brain freeze right now. We'll get back to that
Okay.
to that later. Yeah. So yes, there are many ways books are available. By kilo is books that are bound to be recycled.
Okay.
Right? But we do not want to go in that space. We only want to sell brand new books
Okay.
at great prices.
Okay.
There are many different categories that we have. Number one is the remainder category. So the remainder category is books. That's how we started. Books that have gone to stores but returned, still in good condition, still brand new, and we acquire them and we buy them. So we buy it at a low price and we sell it low. So that
Correct.
is remainder or returns. Then they have overstocks where publishers would let's say they print 100,000 copies or 50,000 copies, and they have a sell through of 60 to 70%. That would be considered successful to them. And 30% balance is still quite a lot. If 30% of 100,000 is 30,000 books,
30,000 books, yeah.
and it's expensive to store also.
Yeah.
So we buy the returns. So there's
okay.
the returns. So there's the second. It's not returns. It's the overstocks.
Overstock,
Yeah,
right?
the
Okay.
overstocks. So there's the second one. But overstocks also there is two categories to it. The other one is when the book goes out to distribution, and after 3 to 4 months, they roughly know the sales,
Mm.
and they feel that in another year or 6 months, they're going to be holding that 30 to 40,000 books. They
Right.
rather just skim the stocks right now,
Right.
right? And so that's where we come in, and we buy in bulk. That 10, 20,000,
Okay.
which is still very fresh
Yeah.
and brand new, and we take it off the publishers or distributors.
I see.
Yeah. And the third one is co-publish. So that is currently now what we are doing, which is at a very later part of the business, where when we first started, we were just managing what we could grab,
Yeah.
remainders, because we were not that big. And then as we grew, the remainders won't grow.
Right.
So we buy at higher quantities from the publishers, and that also won't grow because currently being in 17 different countries, 55 cities around the world, and 20 old bookstores, we need a lot of books. So we had to start producing books with publishers,
Wow.
right? But we don't create new books. We go after the backlist, meaning that books that has been launched 6 months, a year after the launch date. There are hundreds of thousands of books produced. Let's say the last 10 years,
Yeah.
right? And we choose the ones that we think is attractive, and that the publishers we can work a deal with, that they print for us, and for a special price that we are able to sell it at markets that doesn't affect their primary market.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the advantage that we have is that we are trying to sell books to markets that publishers do not have. So it doesn't damage the current market.
So
or
can you
doesn't
give us an
affect the current
example?
market.
Like, that means would I be correct to say if the publishers only say sell to North America, but then say doesn't come to this part of the world? Is that how you all segregate by
So,
geography?
if you look at Indonesia, for example, Indonesia has 280 million people.
Right.
It's a massive market for publishers, but publishers can't get into Indonesia because there's hardly enough bookstores there, and most of the bookstores do not sell English books. So this whole market is locked out to them, whereas we can expose this market to the publishers, and it really doesn't affect their market because they are hardly selling any of their books in this region or in this particular market. So they're very happy to be able to get the books out, seed the market. So we are helping the publishers seed the market, and when Indonesia becomes a first world country, they will be able to buy books at full price instead of a discounted price.
I see. I mean, I'm sure readers would be like quite curious, So we go to your bookstore and it's normally discounted from say retail price. How do you guys actually make money? Because they are so cheap, right? How do you guys actually make money?
I think first and foremost, we are mission-based company, and the mission is to want to change the world through books. So it's us taking a step back, and we can't do it alone. We need the support from publishers. We need the support from our partners. In certain countries, we have banks sponsoring us. We have even airlines sponsoring us. So many people coming, even governments, to together to achieve this mission. Publishers give us at a very low price, and we sell it low. But the main thing that makes this whole ecosystem work is volume. We have to move books in volume. We buy books ranging from a minimum of 300 copies to up to 100,000 per copy.
100,000 copies.
That was one of the biggest print runs we ever had.
Right.
We had a print run of 12 different series of children books.
Right.
1.2 million books in one order and 100,000 each.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And did you guys manage to distribute?
yeah. It took us a few years to sell, but I think last month we managed to sell
Everything.
all that 1.2 million.
So I mean, I guess maybe for the viewers watching this, they will be quite familiar with BookXcess, as a store, right? I guess they're quite curious on because you also have events, right? Big Bad Wolf, which is also under BookXcess. Which one started first, and are the economics different for both?
Very, very different.
Yeah.
BookXcess started first. It was only a 500 square feet bookstore in Angkor Mall. That was back in 2007.
2007.
Yeah, so when we had the opportunity to sell books, we didn't know whether it will work or not. We were not from the industry, and we looked at the book. The book looked good, but whether is it good for the market is another thing.
Yeah.
We just tried out a tiny little store, brought in about 5,000 books, and gave ourselves 6 months. If it didn't work, we'll just shut it down and just move on.
Right.
So the 6 months, the response was good, and we were encouraged to grow further. After the 6 months, we moved to a 3,000 square feet store in Angkor Mall,
Right.
upstairs, and we gave ourselves 2 years to see can we take it on to another level. That's when we started learning about the industry more, how to buy and sell books, come up with a membership program, how to run a bookstore.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we were at the second store, the 3,000 square feet store, we had the opportunity to do the first Big Bad Wolf.
Right.
And at that time, the first Big Bad Wolf, we brought in about 120,000 books. The peak in 2019, we grew to a point where the Big Bad Wolf sale in Jakarta had 5.5 million books
Per event.
per event. So imagine from 100,000 books,
Right.
many years later, the peak was at 5.5 million books. Yeah.
Bring us through the kind of ideation stage to execution as a business owner, entrepreneur. How do you say, okay, let's do Big Bad Wolf, like from retail? Because I think back then, I think there were a couple of headwinds, I'm quite sure. If you say 2008, 2009, everyone's saying, ebooks are the way to go. And everyone's going to go digital. Secondly, you already have very large incumbents like MPH or I can't remember. It starts with a
Popular Borders.
Popular Borders.
Yeah, there was
all that kind of thing.
Times,
Yeah.
Kinokuniya, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So how as an entrepreneur do you take that leap of faith to say, let's do a huge event and let's sell these books? Like, is there even demand?
So I think back to your previous question, the difference between BookXcess and Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
BookXcess is open daily. It's our day-to-day retail, and Big Bad Wolf is the exciting event where the price is extremely low.
Yeah.
We wake up the market. We create the buzz and all, and people come and buy in a frenzy.
Right.
And what happens after the event? kids need books every day,
Right.
and that's when they go to BookXcess
Yeah.
and buy books. So
Right.
so the brick and mortar will be BookXcess to support the what we are trying to build.
Yeah.
And Big Bad Wolf is the conduit that creates all that excitement and the hype to get the 91% of Malaysians who can read but they are not reading. And we are not here to just disrupt the whole market. We want to complement the market. We will not have the latest books, and we create the excitement, the reading habit. And if you need the latest books, you go to the full
BookXcess.
price bookstores.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, what is the business model for, say, because I think before that, has anyone done a book event like what you guys did?
I think there was. I'm sure the other bookstores have their clearance and all.
Yeah.
So the difference between us is they are clearing stocks that they can't sell
Right.
or they have excess.
Yeah.
Whereas we buy the books specifically for the sale.
Right.
So it's a very different
okay.
model and
Who was
angle
your
of
target
looking
audience? Was
into
it book readers or
the,
non-book
the
readers?
target audience was definitely the non-readers, the
Non-readers.
95% of the world's population.
Right.
But at that time, it was just the Malaysian population when we started because we were
Right.
just in Malaysia and we never knew that it was a global problem.
Right. Right.
I never had the opportunity to go out to the world, so it was just us in our little view thinking that it's only in Malaysia that books are not accessible or affordable. So it
Right.
was just the market was to target kids like me. You know, when I was growing up, that I never had the opportunity to have books in my life.
Right. Right. So it's almost like everybody can fly, but kind of everybody can read.
Yeah,
That's the
in essence. Yeah.
So tell us more about maybe so the first event, like, was it successful? No, I think one of the challenges marketing it because I think for the average retailer we just see that event, but what was it like? And plus you were not from the book industry, right?
I think funny enough, the first event, even to the current events that we are doing right now, the risk factors has never changed. Yeah, we still go all in.
What's the biggest risk?
Yeah, I think the biggest risk is because we do it at a scale and the
Right.
overheads are high.
Right.
So if somehow the event don't work out, then you lose money,
Right.
right? And when we first started, it was just one tiny event with 100 or 1,000 books.
Right.
But to us that was huge, right?
Of course,
and we didn't have the money, we didn't have resources. It only cost us 25,000 ringgit
Yep.
to run the first event.
Okay.
Imagine 25,000 ringgit, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we collected about 800,000 ringgit on the first event.
Wow.
But don't forget, we also had a very tiny little bookstore.
Wait, so
Angkor Wat.
25,000, does that include the stocks that you bought, the 100,000
No,
books?
we were very fortunate that someone approached us to say that, hey, I have this amount of books, 100,000 books,
Yeah.
and I just want to clear them. You can sell it at what price you want. When we first started BookXcess, I always had this number fixated in my mind that what price would a Malaysian buy a book without thinking about the price?
Okay.
To me, back then it was below 10 ringgit.
Okay.
We were selling books at the original BookXcess when we first started at half the price of what the market was selling a novel. At that time, novels was around 35 ringgit.
Okay.
And we were selling our books at 17.90. So we were
Half the price.
half the price. We were decently attractive.
Yeah.
But I felt that in order to get a average Malaysian or someone from the grassroots to be able to buy a book without thinking about the price, it should be below 10.
Right.
So 8 or 9 ringgit, that would be the price.
Sweet spot lah.
Yeah, the sweet spot. But we were selling at 17.90 and our cost was around almost like 9-10 ringgit already.
Right.
So there's no way we could see whether that the idea worked or not.
Right.
When we were approached to do the first event,
Yeah.
the person that gave us the books, they were one of the biggest distributors of books in this region. The representative said that you can sell at whatever price you want, I just don't want to see the books back.
Wow.
So I said, okay, let me have a look at the books. I went to see the books and I was like, wow, the books are really good. They were a little bit messy.
Yeah.
We had to sort them out.
But they were
brand new books.
Right.
And so if I could price whatever price I want, naturally I went at 8 ringgit to see whether the idea would work or not. That Malaysians do want to read. It's just that affordability is an issue.
Right.
We never ran an event before. We didn't know how to run an event. We never think about much, as in like what would the correct venue be, what would the costings be, and how to market the event. So we in our own little minds, we look for the cheapest place available. It was office. It was an office block in section 13 or section 14, Dataran Hamodal.
Okay.
And in PJ.
Right.
20,000 square feet. Can you imagine? It's just an office block, and they were looking out for someone to take that floor to rent to an office, right? And we did our event there. No, who I think about 18 years ago, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Nobody does events in venues like that.
Right.
Right. And so I always remember the rental was 20,000.
Right.
For that.
For how long? What was the
I think
period?
it was about, the event was about 6-7 days.
Okay.
But we needed about a week to prep for the event. So it was we rented for about 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we only have 5,000 ringgit for marketing.
Yeah.
That is how we also came up with the name Big Bad Wolf. Because when you don't have enough money for marketing, you look for ways to create hype and attention.
Right. So how did you market with 5,000? I mean, it's 800,000 worth of books.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty amazing return for 25K, right?
Yeah. How did we market? Yeah. So number one was the name. So we had 5,000 ringgit at that time. Before digitalization, everyone get the news from newspaper.
Okay.
The Star newspaper was the largest publication out there.
Yeah.
Their 5,000 ringgit would buy us a black and white advertisement, half page, at the metro section. So that was like roughly the cheapest that you can get, but it's at the metro section.
Okay.
Not everyone goes
Correct.
all the way and read the metro section.
Right.
We managed to get a Star to give us a write-up also for that 5,000.
Okay.
So the write-up was important, and we needed the advertisement, the one advertisement to go really far. So coming up with a very catchy name, and if you look at the advertisement, if you're not a book reader, you look at a huge wolf there, a big bad wolf, you probably just show your colleague next to you that, hey, look at this company, the name is so funny. And back then, companies were not very creative when it comes to naming whether events or the companies, right? So we stood out. You show your colleague, and your colleague would like look at it like, hey, the books there are good. And you might not be a reader, but you are spreading the word to somebody who might be a reader or might need books for their kids.
Right.
And we had a website, so that was very important. We could load whatever we want on the website. It doesn't cost us anything. So we made sure that people would go to the website and to check out that, hey, this sale is worth going because the books are good and the prices are good. Yeah. So we just one advertisement, we needed it to go really far. So that gave the idea of the name and how hard we actually had to try to make sure that the word goes out organically.
So was the 25,000, was it like, did you put everything on the line and say, this is it, make it or break it kind of thing?
Actually, the make it or break it was 2 years later when we jumped. Even though the first event, it was already a make it or break it, because we had to hire a lot of casual labor to help us sort out the book and run the event. If nobody came, then what are we going to do with the books? Number one, the good thing is we didn't own the stock, so we probably had to donate the books, but we still had to pay the staff and all. And I guess we didn't even think of that, what would happen. Probably just run off. But the scary one, as I mentioned, was in 2011. We did our first event in 2009. 6 months later, we did it again. It was very successful. The first one was extremely successful. We sold 90% of the books.
Yeah.
The second one, we had 200,000 books. We also sold 91%. It was very successful.
And how
The
much
third
did that break in? Do you remember?
It was probably like about 1 over million.
1 over
Yeah,
million?
1 over
Okay.
million, 1.5 million. The second
right.
one. We were not profitable, even the second one.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, if there was profits also, it was only a few percent.
Okay.
And the third one, we had 300,000 books. Similar success. But what happened after the third one was the game changer for us.
Right.
There was so much noise in the industry because we are quite misunderstood, and we were deemed to be like destroying the industry.
Right.
We were told to stop. Whoever that was supplying us books said that, hey, I'm sorry, too much external pressure from publishers and all, and distributors that sorry, we can't continue.
I would imagine this
doing
would be your incumbents.
Yeah. And
Okay.
but I'm grateful for that because that has brought us to where we are today. We were just doing our own little thing, 100, 200, 300,000 books, right? And so we were so disappointed. We are trying to do something great for the country, trying to do something good for the people. We're not really profitable also. And, we were told to stop. And so we felt that it wasn't right. And we decided, and I never really been out of Malaysia. We decided to do the world's biggest book sale in Malaysia to just shut everybody up. So from 300,000 books, we jumped to 1.5 million books. That is when we created the world's biggest book sale in Malaysia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how did we do that? We got on a plane. We bought a round the world ticket. We went to visit publishers from all around the world, and we told them what we were trying to do in Malaysia. We need support. It was crazy. Publishers or distributors that we had never met before or the first time, they supported us. They even gave us the books without paying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the idea was to create the world's biggest book sale in Malaysia. But jumping from 300,000 books to 1.5 million books, you were like going the big leagues already. You had to hire a convention center. You could hire hundreds of staff,
Right.
logistics, and we didn't even have a warehouse. You're talking about 1.5 million books is like 20 containers.
20 containers.
40
wow.
footers.
Okay.
So that was a scary one I mentioned. If it didn't work out, we already planned we would just pack our bags and run to Thailand. No? Yeah, seriously, honestly, that because there's no way we could pay millions in ringgit of books.
Yeah.
The convention center, the 100 of staff that you need to hire, and so we had to make sure that the timing also works well.
Correct.
When the books arrive, because we had no warehouse, so it arrived on time
And straight
to
to
the convention center, process the books. You get a week to process the books and then run the event.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from 25,000 budget to run one event, what was this 1.5 million book? What was the budget looking like?
I can't even remember. I don't remember because we just always just do it. Just always do it.
Right, okay.
I will assume that roughly it will be about 500,000.
500,000?
Yeah,
Okay.
500,000. Yeah.
Okay.
And
And that's not including the stock that is coming in, right?
no, not including the stocks.
Right,
The
okay.
stocks were alone another 4-5 million
Wow.
easily.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and we literally, I was just renting a 800 ringgit house in Hatamas.
Right.
So you can see my economic situation then, no? Someone renting an 800 ringgit house,
Yeah.
taking a risk of about, 4 million. Yeah.
I think that's the true spirit of entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah, just don't care. Just
Go
do it.
hard or go home, right?
You feel that it's very compelling, just go for it. Yeah.
So how did that event go? How did it?
It was extremely successful.
Okay.
It was also scary because we were again out of our comfort zone, meaning that from the first one, we were doing it in an office block. Don't know whether people would come or not.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't even think about the access, how people are going to come up. We didn't even think of if we need to sell all the books, we need to bring in X amount of customers.
Yeah.
If X amount of customers, can the lift cope? Right? Is this the right venue? Parking, safety, we just never thought about it.
Right.
And the customers had to take the stairs to go up to the event, because apparently the lift can only fit like three or four people at one time.
Okay.
And there was no parking, no customer parking at all.
Oh, wow.
It was in a office
Building.
a building and an office environment
Right.
where it's not catered up for visitors, right?
Yeah.
And we created jams and all and everywhere, right?
Right.
So the big one that we did, the huge one, the world's biggest book sale in 2011. When I say that we were doing it out of our comfort zone, was because we did it in MAPS in Sedang.
Okay.
So MAPS Sedang, we were the first convention or first event that wasn't Maha. Maha is the biggest agricultural exhibition.
Okay.
No, it's not exhibition. Biggest agricultural event
Right.
done by the ministry.
Okay.
Right, and MAPS was built for Maha only, and they use it once every 2 years.
Okay.
So it was a little bit of a white elephant.
Okay.
And because no one ever would think that a event could be done in the middle of nowhere in Sedang.
Right.
Literally, it was in the middle of nowhere. There's no public transportation. You can't walk. You can't take a bus.
Yeah.
You had to drive kilometers from the main road to get into the venue. It was in a I think a UPM agricultural park
Wow.
or something. So it was very deep. And back then there was no GPS.
Right.
Right, there was no Waze and all, and so doing an event in the middle of nowhere
Right.
with such high stakes, well, why did you do that versus doing it in a proper convention center? Again, no money.
Right.
So that hall, if I'm not mistaken, was about 80,000 ringgit, but it was big
Right.
versus an air condition, right? Versus taking a proper convention center, which would cost you probably about $1 million
Right.
or more.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, but learning from our first event, we somehow had the courage to just do it, because we know that there's a demand for it. We just need to get the word to go around.
Right. But how would people, if there was no GPS, I mean something we take for granted today, what was it like? How would
Good question. Okay, I had to put my phone number in all the interviews that I did. Right.
you put your phone
Yeah,
number?
I put my phone number there.
Okay.
Can you imagine? I probably had like 50,000 calls. My phone just rang non-stop. Okay, everybody, hey, how to get there? How do I get there? At the main road, how do I get there? Right? Yeah, and
So, I mean, that's so. Okay, so how?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, what the event was a success. I mean, it was a huge.
it was a massive success. We sold 95% of the books.
Wow.
That is when finally we had the money to really build the business
I
properly
see.
and grow and see that the Big Bad Wolf Sale can be a standalone business, not just a event that we do
Right.
once in a while. Right, it's a proper business. So we had we knew already that Malaysia is poised to be a reading society,
Right.
if books were accessible and affordable.
Yeah.
And so we should be building, really putting all our efforts to build the business. And Big Bad Wolf has now grown to a point where we are almost doing yearly every single state in Malaysia.
Every single
Yeah,
state
every
in
state in
Malaysia. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Going back to the big one that we did.
Yeah.
So the big one was 1.5. Back in 2011 was 1.5 million books.
In one event.
In one event. So we had the courage to now go to proper convention center.
Okay.
So we moved to the Mind Convention Center after that, and we jumped from 1.5 million to 3 million books.
In one event.
The next event, yeah. And even that was a sellout.
Right.
Yeah. And customers were complaining about long queues and all. And that's when we came up with a 24-hour format. So we are very well known for the Big Bad Wolf to be running at 24 hours.
Which is very unconventional.
Yeah. Yeah. So after that, the huge event in 2011 in MAPS, there was no turning back. We we were already on a trajectory for
Growth.
growth, and taking on the market.
I guess the question would be, you had your first event, which was, when did you say,
2009,
2009, and then the 1.5 million books was
2011.
So it mattered 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. Just maybe for context for the viewers out there, what would a conventional, say, brick and mortar store like, say, MPH or something, sell in a year? How many books would they sell in a year on average? Or, your best guess back then?
I had no clue.
Or maybe what would BookXcess sell in a year back then for one store?
Very little. I have no clue. So, I mean, when we somehow I'm not very data driven.
Okay.
I think also because of the lack of education. No, I failed my SPM also. No diploma, no degree, nothing. Right. So never had all these things at the back of my mind.
Okay.
When wanting to expand or looking at data and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah. So
No,
I, really got
I mean,
no clue. But I mean, the market wasn't great. Or wasn't big because majority of Malaysians can read but don't read.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it wasn't a big market.
And would you say that I mean, I guess that kickstarted the whole trend. So maybe taking us back from, you said the first one where someone said, hey, I've got 100,000 books, I don't want to see them, you price them yourself. Has those economics changed today?
It's changed to a very different level.
Yep.
Right now, the books belong to us.
Okay.
If we can't sell the books,
Yeah.
then it's on us to find a way to clear it.
Okay.
Back then, when we had the opportunity, the first 2 or 3 events, it was selling on behalf of somebody, and we just take a cut, but expenses were all on us.
Right.
But the person trusts us with the books, and that we will pay.
Right.
And the risk was that even if they didn't sell, we would just give away the books or just dispose it.
Dispose the books. Wow.
But of course, the person knew that whichever way we skin the cat, we will price it in a way that we will clear it, because we also want to make sure that we are able to cover our expenses and all. I mean, I won't be going to sell the books at 1-2 ringgit. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So right now, because the economics have changed, does that really change the business model dramatically?
No, it's still the same.
Yep.
The business model is to make books affordable and accessible, and that first opportunity that we had basically shaped how we buy books and sell books even up to now. Meaning that it gave us the idea that the books need to be extremely low the price needs to be extremely low to be able to create that frenzy.
Yeah.
So BookXcess couldn't sell at that price, even though BookXcess was really low, but extremely low is a different ball game again.
Okay.
Right. So we use that low price to go to publishers to say that, hey, we need books at this price. How can we find a solution to be able to get the right pricing to sell it at this price? So that basically didn't change. The getting books, having the idea that the books must be at this price, and we stuck to it.
Okay. So has the below maybe 10 ringgit idea changed? Like, obviously it's been almost 20 years. Inflation.
I mean, with inflation and all.
Yeah.
When we started the business, an average, the cheapest novel you could find was 34.90.
Right.
And we were selling at 17.90.
Right.
For almost 10 years, we didn't move up the price.
Okay.
We stuck to 17.90, whereas the books gradually from 34.90 moved up to 39.90, moved up to 44.90, 49.90. Now the book that was the full price book that was at 34.90 back when we started is roughly around 59.90.
Wow.
As you can see, that's how much
huge,
the difference.
It's almost double.
Yeah. But what we have moved in tandem in meaning that we are still about BookXcess is still about 50 to 75% off the regular retail price.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
about $30.
Yeah, but
below
you know,
30.
it's still about 20 old ringgit. Yeah.
So at Big Bad Wolf, would that price even be lower?
Yeah, it'd be lower. So it'd be lower by another 20, 30%.
So about below 20 lah.
Yeah,
Below 20 per
yeah,
book lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But of course, you get books at 5 ringgit, 3 ringgit.
Right.
also, yeah.
Okay. I guess maybe we talk about BookXcess a bit more. What was the inspiration behind such fantastic looking bookstores? So for those of you who are not familiar, you can Google them or visit them. And I know you have a few BookXcesses, right? What was the kind of inspiration behind them making it look so unique?
I think the notable one would be Rex KL.
Rex scale, yeah.
Right, Rex KL.
Was that the first?
No.
First funky one outside of MCOM.
Yeah, the first crazy one
first
was
crazy one.
Rex KL.
Right.
My Town.
My Town, yeah.
Yeah, BookXcess in My Town. And the latest one is in Sunway Square.
Sunway Square,
It's called the Library by BookXcess. The Sunway Library by BookXcess.
Yes.
The inspiration is very simple. We are trying to get the 95% of Malaysians to read.
Right.
And if you're not a reader, you're not going to go into a bookstore. This new generation, they are half the time looking for experiences. And what they do when they experience something, they share on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and all. So we created amazing spaces for them to come and experience, and then they go there to take pictures and all. And when they look at the price of the book, they go like, wow, it's affordable. And basically, there's always a book for everyone. It's just that people are not exposed to books. So we bring in the non-readers to the bookstores for them to come and hang out, enjoy the space, take pictures.
Right.
They see a book that they like, or a book calls out to them, and they feel that it's affordable. Then we convert them into readers.
Right.
But even if we don't convert them, at least we put the idea into their head.
Right.
One day they need books, then they will come. Or they can think of somebody who they can buy the book for. So you can buy as a gift also. But if it's going to be a full price at 50, 100 ringgit, it becomes a very expensive gift and very risky.
Sure.
But at 15, 20 ringgit, it's a very thoughtful gift and it's affordable for them to buy a book as a gift. So there are many reasons to get them to come, and it's either for themselves or for somebody else. Yeah.
Do you think that because I grew up going to MPH at my local mall, and now I can't bring my kids there because they're no longer there.
Okay.
They're shut. I think they've been there for a long time. But do you think that this strategy where you make your bookstores look so unique and different has kind of kept you guys still relevant?
Yeah, definitely. It's not just about selling the books, but you also need support from the venue owners. You also need support from the developers, right? And we create these amazing spaces that become part of the ecosystem of the mall, right? And it become a public space.
It's almost like a giant art piece.
Yeah, it's like a giant art piece. And so we maybe just rewind back on your initial question on the bookstores and the unique design. How we come up with the design is also quite simple. We hire architect who we think that is young and upcoming, because they are able to connect with the youth, right? And we ask them to design something that their dream design. So they'll be very passionate about the whole project.
I see.
And we also need to keep our costs low, right? And so giving opportunities to younger architects and giving them the opportunity to design something that most of the clients would reject, or a design that they thought that is just not deemed to be normal.
Right.
Yeah. And if we like it, we will get them to build it. And now we get them to before we build, get them to sketch it out for us. And we like the design, and we incorporate books into the design. Because you see, in Malaysia, If you do
Right.
Google the 10 best or most beautiful bookstores in the world,
Yeah.
you'll get one in Spain, which opera house has been converted into a bookstore, 300-year-old opera house, or in Italy, there's a church that was converted into a bookstore, right? So, but in Malaysia, we don't have all these amazing spaces to create into bookstores. So we have to build architecturally something
I see.
different, because the church was not meant to be a bookstore,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And also the opera house.
Right.
So getting the architect to build something
Completely
different,
different,
something
yeah.
completely different, then you incorporate books into it. So we
Right.
reverse engineer the whole thing.
Right.
So that's why we get some amazing spaces at what we have currently built.
That's very
Yeah.
insightful actually. Because when you go to, conventional bookstores, they pretty much all look the same. It's just rows and rows of shelves
Yeah.
of books.
Yeah.
Because I think the design was books first.
Yeah.
Then,
But I can tell you one thing: having these architecturally beautiful bookstores not necessarily is convenient for the customers.
yes.
Avid readers come in, they go like, Andrew, I cannot browse properly. It's confusing. The layout is just weird. No, it breaks and all, and it's very inconvenient. So I said that this bookstore is actually not meant for you, right? It's meant for the 98% of the Malaysian population
Right.
who come and take pictures, and we are trying to sell to them. But
Okay.
of course, the few percent of readers is very important.
Right.
Also.
Of course.
But the 95% is a much bigger market, and they are the target market, because we want to change the world through books, and getting people to read more is just
Sure.
our mission and what we want to do.
Right. I've got I think probably one of the key questions here is that because so who or what or how do you guys curate the books that you want to buy?
We have a buying team of about five.
Is there
five
like
of
a
us.
formula or
No, you need to love books, number one.
Okay.
You need to know books, and the team that we have, I also hate the team.
okay.
They report to me, because I want to make sure that all the books that we buy are right for the market and good. They believe me, judging a book by its cover is also very important.
Okay, so
Yeah.
judging a
Yeah,
book
yeah.
by its cover, okay.
Yeah. Because it's the first point of contact to the customer or the buyer. And if you can create the cover well, if you can create the right title, or if you name your book well, naturally the book will be pretty decent, I would say.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it will be a good book, but I mean, of course, that's not the main way of how we buy books, by judging by the cover. If you know your books, you got to know what is trending, and you have to be knowledgeable enough and be in the industry long enough to understand what sells and what doesn't sell. And of course, now data is important.
Yeah.
When we first started, we didn't even know how to manage our data, but now we look back at that hundreds of millions of books that we sold,
Yeah.
what sells and what doesn't sell.
Okay.
And you really can't go wrong with children books.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
At the right price, right?
Yeah.
Almost any children book will sell.
So I mean, so would you say that would be kind of your secret sauce today? It's the brains behind the book curation.
I would say the book curation, and also the secret sauce would be getting the publishers, distributors to support what we are doing.
Right. To sell
Yeah.
books at X amount price.
Everybody taking a step back,
Yeah.
including us as a business, right? Not looking at the right margins,
Right.
but margins decent enough to keep the lights on,
Right.
to the support. That is basically the secret sauce, because
I see.
even if you have 5 different pieces of the puzzle, and if only one part of the puzzle plays ball,
Yeah.
then
The whole ecosystem doesn't work.
won't work as what we want to work. So all 5 need to click.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess because you curate your own books, and now you have your own warehouse, and you guys own that inventory. Take us through what happens when you've got oversupply? Like you picked the wrong book. Say we picked the wrong book, I just can't sell. I've got maybe 1,000 copies in there. What happens?
Even if you pick the wrong book, it wouldn't be that bad because roughly you have chosen the book, and with whatever information that we have out there and all the experience that we have, it will still be a decent book.
Okay.
Right. But yes, of course, somehow it just still doesn't sell. We will drop the price.
Okay.
We will keep dropping to the point where it will eventually move. And if it really doesn't move, but it doesn't move not because of the price anymore. There could be a point where, let's say, if a children's sound book and the sound is not functioning anymore, right? So the book more or less could be defective,
right?
Or the book has gone brown, because of humidity. Humidity is a big issue in our industry, right? And it's not retail friendly anymore,
right?
So the last end of it is we do this thing called the big bag box sale.
Big bag
box sale.
right?
Because at our volume, importing millions of books a year, even a few percent of books that are damaged or unsellable, it can come out to about 1 million copies.
1 million copies.
Yeah, a year.
Wow.
So we take these books, find a cheap venue, and we do this thing called a box sale, where we sell you an empty box,
right, at
about 100 ringgit. It's quite a sizable box, where if you stack the books properly, you can stack up to about 80 children books.
Wow. Okay.
Or about 30 to 50 novels,
right,
or 60 novels, depending on the size, for about 100 ringgit.
Right.
So you buy an empty box, you go into the event, as long as you can close both the lids, it lines up, you go home.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
and this is at the Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah, we call it a Big Bad Box Sale.
Right.
It's like we call it a box sale, and it's by Big Bad Wolf. So it's always a sellout, meaning that we would sell almost every single thing
I see.
out there. Yeah.
So that means there's no book that you cannot sell.
Yeah, there's literally no book that you cannot sell. Unless the book is so soiled or damaged.
Yeah.
That we just have to recycle it.
Okay. So tell us more about having so many books. Like, give us give the viewers an idea. What kind of space are we talking about? Does mold or cockroaches come in? What do you guys do to keep all these books?
Yeah. Humidity is a big issue.
Right.
In other countries, they don't have this, especially in Europe and all. Here, humidity is a real killer for the books.
Right.
The humidity will cause the book to get moldy, and also have silverfish coming in.
Okay.
Have it gets pitted with brown stains around. So the best way is to, the moment the book arrives, shrink wrap the book.
I see. Yeah. So is that why all the books I see
correct. Yeah, they
are all
always
shrink wrap?
It's important to shrink wrap the books because it immediately protects the books from the environment, whether is it the weather or insects.
So do you have like a conveyor belt machine?
Yeah, huge machines and all. It's a big cost to us.
Right.
To shrink wrap, it costs millions a year just to shrink wrap all our books.
Every single book is shrink wrap?
Every single book has to be shrink wrap.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. And what would the idea of SKU? How many titles do you have?
We generally have in stock about 80,000 SKUs.
80,000.
It's a lot. It's a very complicated business.
Because that itself is another business, right?
Yeah.
So say if I'm looking for one book and you have millions of books, how do I even find it?
We have an inventory system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we have a huge warehouse in Shah Alam.
Right.
We have warehouses in Malaysia, Thailand,
right,
Philippines.
Oh wow.
Where's Indonesia?
Wow. Okay, so you have 5 countries.
Yeah, and UAE.
Oh, UAE. Okay.
For our Middle Eastern
right,
and Africa venture.
So do you have BookXcess there as well, or it's just for Big Bad Wolf?
BookXcess is only in Malaysia and Singapore.
Right.
But we do intend to expand BookXcess to other countries. Yeah. We just need to stabilize BookXcess in Malaysia. I feel that there's still a lot of room for improvement.
Right.
Which we are working on. once it's stabilized, then we'll venture out of Malaysia.
So can I say BookXcess is retail, and in a way, Big Bad Wolf is events and wholesale?
Yes,
That's the business model.
exactly. That is.
So now that you talk about UAE, with the Iran war, how is that affecting you guys? Are you guys affected? Because on the surface, it doesn't seem like you guys would be affected, but
Temporarily, yes.
yeah.
We are supposed to have a event in April,
Okay.
a Big Bad Wolf event in Sharjah, Dubai. That has been cancelled.
Ah.
Books because we buy books every day,
Yeah.
and we have containers being shipped and loaded to various warehouses around the world. Currently, there's no containers going to that region,
Oh,
so it's all on hold.
so basically, your books also can't pass the Straits
Yeah.
of Hormuz.
Yeah, can't even it doesn't need to pass the straits because
Right.
it's coming from UK and Europe.
Right.
But nobody wants to go to that region because of the instability.
I see.
Yeah.
So you can't get your books over
Yeah,
to
can't
those
get books
warehouses
over.
there.
I feel that it's just a temporary thing. Things will sort out in the next week or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But has your cost spiked or how do I say?
Not yet, but I believe that it will spike a little bit.
I would
Yeah.
imagine shrink wrap would start costing you a bit more.
Yeah, everything will cost more.
Okay.
Let's just wait and see and hope that calm heads will prevail and
Yep.
good sense will come and
Yeah.
the war will end soon.
I think one of the questions that we'll be talking about the industry. So you guys have come into a very old industry as book selling, and have, how do I say, disrupted how books are being sold, right? 24 hours
Yeah.
and wholesale and retail and lower prices and all. Is there any, what is the industry like beyond you guys? As in, are the publishers afraid of cannibalism of, or people who sell books online? And of course the retail section as well. How has that kind of changed?
That is a very good question.
Yeah.
So I was talking to the largest publisher in the world,
Yeah.
and I asked them, when do you thought was the heyday of the book industry? They mentioned it was during the 80s, roughly around the 80s,
Okay.
where digitalization haven't set into our lives. It just and a lot of people were reading at that time. And I said that the book industry has never reached its true potential. And he asked me, what do you mean by has never reached its true potential? I said that if currently we are only selling to the few percent of the world's population, and the 91% of the world, they are not reading, right? If every single person in the world, if we are able to put a book in their hands, and if they look at a book and say that, hey, I think reading is not for me, I don't want to read, then you know its true potential. And the publisher said, but how are we going to do that? Right? So that is what Big Bad Wolf and BookXcess is trying to do.
Right.
We are trying to take books to regions across the world, to cities and countries, and to people who has never experienced books in their life before.
Okay.
So we are not disrupting the market. In fact, I wouldn't even call us a disruptor. I would say that we are just enabling the market. We are opening the market. We are opening up a market to publishers or distributors who had never had the chance to reach them, right? And it's a massive market out there. Can you imagine 90% that never had the chance
I
to?
guess it's a story about a shoe salesman who goes to Africa and says, nobody wears shoes. Where's the market? Whereas the potential is how many people that can be wearing shoes, right?
Yeah, correct.
Is that same analogy?
In the same way, but this is probably a 1,000 times bigger.
Right.
Because this is also a problem in first world countries.
Right.
This is a problem in every single countries. If you're talking about shoes, people don't have shoes, right? It's only a few percent of the world.
Right.
Right. This is 91%
That
of the
do
world
not
that don't have accessibility or can't afford books. Yeah.
So because we all, the perception has always been books or print is gonna be out. Book
Yeah.
print because of digitalization. But judging of what you've said in the last 10 years, you're not selling less books.
Yeah, we are selling
You're selling
more
books,
books,
right? Right, from the day you started, right? And also what we see as evidence is, very big old brand names like Barnes and Nobles and international brands that have filed for Chapter 11, right? But it gives us the impression that nobody wants to read books. But I think what you've just said, kind of the opposite, is that you're serving those that already buy regularly from bookstores retail in developed countries. Would you say they buy it online now?
I would say definitely online has affected bookstores tremendously at one time.
Yeah.
And online has also enabled more people to read.
Yes.
And Barnes and Nobles were not doing great at one time. And right now, they are doing very well already.
Oh.
Even Waterstones in UK, they are doing very well.
Okay.
They are profitable. They are opening more stores. And so is Barnes and Nobles.
Oh, okay.
Right? They are owned by the same group now. It's just that retailers need to evolve. And these retailers has evolved. But they are still evolving around that 5% of the population. Whereas we want to get that 95%.
Would you say you're the only guys right now that are trying to target the 95?
I would say at scale, we are the only booksellers in the world that is trying to do what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Very noble of you. I think one of the questions regarding picking books, right? What is the most popular category of books?
Children books.
Children books.
Children books, definitely, because children have got all the time in the world,
Yeah.
and they need books.
Right.
Books is also part of their education, because there are children books, there are non-fiction,
Yes.
reference books, right? Like dinosaurs. We don't learn about dinosaurs in school.
Yeah.
We learn about dinosaurs and all through the books that parents buy for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so books are a huge part of a child's education. And let's say a typical household has 3 kids.
Yeah.
We basically have a market almost every day of 3 kids for almost 15 years at least.
Sure.
If parents could afford books for kids,
Yeah.
they should be reading every day, every night.
Right.
So can you imagine how big that market is? Whereas you and me, where we don't have time
To sit
to read.
down and
Yeah,
read a book,
to read. Yeah.
So just to give an idea, like if you can, what kind of, just to give the viewers ideas, like in terms of all the books you sell, like what's the percentage of children books you sell?
Children books will be around 50%.
50%.
Yeah,
Wow.
50%.
Okay.
And then 35% will be non-fiction.
Non-fiction. Okay.
And about 10, 15,
Be
20% will be fiction.
Adult fiction.
Fiction, yeah. No, fiction in general.
So would you say that now around the world they're passing laws to ban kids below 16 to access social media? Would you think this would push them even more into books?
Definitely. If that happens, book reading globally will go up, or any country will literally go up a few folds.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Because what else are they going to do?
Yeah.
Just like when we were growing up, when there's no social media, right?
Yeah.
We go out and play.
Yes.
We look for physical experiences.
Yeah.
And books are one of the many things currently, even adults. I believe that there's going to be a great reset, or it's already coming, where digitalization is really killing us, right? And we look at our phones. When we first got our hands on a smartphone, we were like, wow, we can do so much. You can watch videos, can do our email, we can. It's such an amazing device.
Yeah.
Right now, it's gone to a point where our smartphone is like a curse already. It's a stress device. It's not a convenient device
you get anxious
anymore.
right?
Yeah, get anxious the moment you get a thing, a WhatsApp, right? Oh my god, who and what,
Correct.
right? And so we're all looking for an escape, and going to physical experiences or analog experiences is something very trending now, even among adults. And traveling, reading physical books is one of them.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So definitely, if banning social media from kids, that will greatly have a positive impact on the book
On
industry.
society as well.
Yeah, on society as well. That's for sure.
sure.
I mean, it's not so much of the kids just glued to the phone, but the harm that uncontrolled social media and whatever that is fed to the kids is one of the reasons why it's being banned. Whereas books are edited, and censored.
Correct. That's right.
Yeah.
Maybe just to kind of wrap this up, I like to kind of, as an entrepreneur, we always, everything looks pretty on the outside. But, what goes on behind the scenes, few get to experience, right? But maybe would you be able to share what would be your worst moments running this business? And of course, what are your best moments?
Let's start with the good things first.
Okay, let's do it. What's your best moment, right, that you can remember?
I think best moment is having to do the big barrel sale in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, it's a when we were growing up, parents always tell us, hey, finish your food and all.
Kids in
they are
Africa
thinking
got
of
nothing to eat.
nothing to eat, like that. So it's always ingrained in our heads, right? That Africa really needs help.
Yeah.
And for sure they do, but not all of Africa, but there are a lot of parts of Africa that do. Bringing big barrels to Africa was a big milestone for us. We did Kenya, Tanzania, and Egypt.
Right.
The response was amazing. They were hungry for books. We went to really remote parts of Africa where kids, they thought that books were literally magical items.
Wow.
They were just so amazed when we showed them a picture dictionary for kids below 10. They never seen a picture dictionary before.
Wow.
And they were all excited and glued to it.
And
these were kids. They don't even never seen a smartphone before.
Right.
And there are millions of them out there. So that was one of the best moments, that we were able to go all the way there, and knowing that once we reach there, eventually we will be able to have a better foothold and a base there to do more good work in a very near future.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Nelson Mandela said that the most powerful weapon to change a nation is education.
Right.
And the quickest way to get education to the world and to kids is through books.
Books.
Yeah.
Right. Would you say you sold most children books there?
Yeah, majority is children books.
Right.
I think everywhere in the whole world is almost pretty the same.
Children books.
Is children books number one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think when you talk about the difficult times are the
If you can share.
I wouldn't say worst moments. I would just say difficult times.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, because every difficulty is actually the opportunity to learn. So I don't get unfazed when there's a nightmare scenario or something really bad happens, because we just have to find a way to solve the issue or find a solution to it, right? But building the business without the right experiences, because I never really worked for anybody. I never seen how corporations are built, how structures are. Never had the right education. So everything just winging it, right? And there's a lot of lessons that we have learned. I would say that when the pandemic hit in 2020, that was the most difficult time that we faced, or I faced, that we could lose the entire business immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did you guys overcome that?
By fighting and pushing, making sure that we find a way to pivot the business. We literally had no market at all, because we were very physical.
Yeah.
Right. Bookstores and the events needed huge amount of people to come, and globally there wouldn't be any event for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
We managed to pivot online.
Right.
We are also very fortunate that almost every company went online to try to sell, and the online space was very crowded. Right. But it was very good for the book industry because kids were all stuck at home, and parents were not equipped, or they didn't know how to educate kids. How many parents can homeschool, right?
Yeah.
Literally, almost none of them.
I don't know any idea.
Yeah, and parents had to work also.
Yeah.
Right, and so the easiest way was to buy as many books as possible for the kids, ask them to read. Yeah, and that was in such huge demand, and we thought that it was the end of the world for us. We were holding 100 over million worth of books in our warehouses.
100 over million ringgit worth of books.
Yeah, and we had no market to sell, right? And so we thought, we were like totally screwed, and the thing is, we were not, that time is to jump down the building already. Because right now you cannot hide already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when we first started 20 over years ago, right, it's easier to go around undetected. No, nowadays, right, somebody will spot you somewhere already, right? And we had all these books with us, and then there was a huge demand. We were not ready to sell online. Right, and but we managed to convert the whole company to an e-com company within about 4 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't sleep day and night, and we managed to basically have a online platform, and we sold a lot of books in the next 2 years to keep the lights on and to keep the company afloat. Yeah.
Were there moments where you could not sleep?
I think the fortunate thing about me is, if it's going to be the end of the world today, I will still sleep soundly. I mean, it's not to say I don't care, but I'm able to compartmentalize things in such a way that things will work out by itself, and you do need to take care of yourself before you take care of others.
Right.
And if I'm going to crash, then everything is going to crash.
So would you, like faith, I mean, just assume, just things that things will eventually work out.
Yeah, I think when we always look back at things, right?
Yeah.
Or any scenario at that time, we thought like, oh my god, it's going to be the death of us, right? And now you look at back, then you just laugh and like, hey, it wasn't that bad after all, right? So having a very strong mindset really, really has a difference. I would say that particular mindset came from my dad. He sadly passed away when I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
Right, and but at 6 years old, he already started training me to run long distance, and 8 years old, I completed my first half marathon.
Wow.
At 9 years old, I completed my first full marathon.
Wow, amazing.
We used to jog almost 15 kilometers a day. Right, and so he was a avid runner, and he always encouraged me to follow him, right? And of course, you as a young kid, you always like to follow your dad. And I mean, he didn't force me to do it.
Sure.
I think if you do it nowadays, you probably consider child abuse, right? For a 9-year-old kid to train and run a marathon, that gave me the somehow resilience that anything in the world is achievable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think you have proved that, right? I mean,
I'm still trying.
500 square feet.
I'm still trying.
Shop in M-Corp Mall, and
we've gone quite far, but we are still very far from where we want to be.
Yeah.
Our dream, our goal in the next 10 years is to sell 1 billion copies of books globally in a year.
A year?
Yeah. So if you can sell 1 billion books a year, that means you are controlling the global supply chain for books, and it's going to land on many hands, and I think we will see a more compassionate world. We will see a world that is very different.
Right. Oh, Andrew, we've learned so much. Thank you so much for your time and being here and sharing us behind the biz at EquitiesTracker. We'd love to. For those of you who are watching this, go and check out Andrew's store's BookXcess. I'm sure you can Google it and find it. I guess one of your bookstores should be top 10, right? Most beautiful bookstores.
I would say that this new store that we built, the Sunway Library,
Yeah.
well, it is the best bookstore in the world. It's the best bookstore in the world because of not only architecturally it is stunning, it's also a community bookstore. The books are the titles are great. It's affordable. It's open 24 hours. It's got a restaurant. It's got stationery. It's got a juice bar. Even got a fashion outlet there.
Wow.
And we have 350 seating spaces for students or adults, to workstations to work for free. You can charge your phone. You can eat there, right?
Amazing.
In a really beautiful environment. It is for everyone and it is for the public. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Do check it out. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.